Welcome to My Dad is Grumpy as Shit. I am your host, Jay Cotto, and these are going to be, and I'm sad to say that these are going to be the final days of My Dad is Grumpy as Shit. I am going to transition into something else. It's not over. I don't want it to seem like it's over. It's not over. I'm just going to transition into something else. However, the title that I'm now using will more than likely change. We'll still be speaking about the same things. But in today's segment, I do want to discuss a few things that I've been toiling with lately and just kind of, feeling a bit under the thumb and not quite where I want to be. So as these past couple of days have gone by, I've been struggling with creativity, which, um, I'm not a very creative person. My wife is insanely creative, right? She can bake, she can do artsy things, like she could do a lot of different things. She's very creative. I'm not terribly creative that way. So when it comes to content and just kind of throwing things out there, and it's kind of like a big thing, that it's kind of like one of those reoccurring themes, right? That you got to be creative, you got to be creative. I don't know that it's creativity that I'm after. What I'm after is just having content that's relevant to people in a way that makes sense for them. And I kind of have been struggling with not that in particular, because I feel like a lot of what I have to say, a lot of things that I deal with on a day to day basis as a person is valuable to people, especially when it comes to marriage and children and things like that. But I've been struggling in a way that um, what I do for a living, I've been doing for a very long time. And, like you've heard me say before, I enjoy what I do. I've always enjoyed what I do. And for the most part, I still do. But what I'm struggling with is it's not as fulfilling as it once was. And it's becoming more apparent to me that what is fulfilling to me is what I'm doing here. And what I'm doing here is sharing my experiences and my growth and things that I've done through life. And it's not something that I give to you in one sitting, but it's done in pieces. But that's fulfilling to me, and knowing that someone can get value from that, uh, that's what's starting to show itself. That's something that's becoming more and more apparent to me on a daily basis, that's really fulfilling. And one of the things that I've always struggled with, I've always had fears of doing things. I was always a shy person. Like I never really was a go-getter, right? I wasn't the kind of guy that would just say, hey, say hi to the girl. I always stayed in the background and with hopes that she saw me. That's kind of how I approach life, and I've always approached life that way. And it wasn't until I became more of an adult and I got more comfortable with who I was, when that started to change a little bit. And even changing, it's still relatively similar. It's not that different. I just have more confidence in who I am as an adult, so I can navigate around it far easier than I ever have. But I was never that way. So one of the things that I've noticed that has been holding me back in doing what I'm doing is a fear of things not being perfect or as they should, or how I want them to look, or how I see other people's things looking, and why doesn't mine look that way? And what I forgot was, what is what is it that I'm bringing to you guys? It's not so much of how it looks. I can only make it look the best way that I can. But what I'm bringing to you guys is me, is my life. It's what I put out there, and my daily experiences. And sometimes there are others. I'll share others, and I'll share with you what I learned from that, or the advice that I gave. But that's the value that I'm giving. And starting to learn what it is that I want to do, what it is that I want to convey, what it is that I want to put forward in the world has become so frustrating to me, because I'm starting to feel like I have something to give. I want to leave a mark. I want to do something that matters. I don't know what this will become. I don't know if it will become anything at all. I don't know. I will tell you that I won't stop. And if it goes somewhere, great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I know that I want to do this and I want to put something forward in the world that is meaningful. And unfortunately, it's at this time of my life. And when I say unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately. So, fortunately, at this time in my life, I'm 46 years old. So I have a sense of maturity that I can put out and it be coherent versus possibly being younger and just kind of doing a bunch of, knucklehead things. Unfortunately is I'm not 20 something years old and doing a bunch of knucklehead things that if I did sooner, I had more time to learn. Um, so it's almost as if I feel a bit of a pressure in doing what I love. And what I also on the other side of that is advice to anyone who's thinking about starting something like this. Do it. Don't let those fears of being the shy guy when you were a kid or whatever it is coax you into not doing it. Don't program yourself because you're afraid to not do it. Don't wait until you're 46 and feel like you're under pressure to do it. Do what you love and do it now. Now, when I say pressure, it's not it's do or die. No. It's me really feeling like this is big. This is big and I want to do something big. I feel like I can do something big. I'm feeling the ability to be able to do something big. And that means being able to communicate with people, talk to people, listen to their stories, adding value to their life, them adding value to my life, being taught and just kind of being better. And I say that a lot. You've heard my past podcasts being about that. But I got to tell you, more recently, watching these videos talking about creativity and what do you bring in differently, you got to do something differently. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. I don't. But I can bring me to the table. And bringing me to the table is a lot. That's a lot for a lot of people. And just think that that's something that if I can say anything of value to anyone, do it. Don't be afraid. Don't wait till you're 46. Do what's meaningful to you now. You don't want to feel like you're in a place that is just, there's this. I'm sure a lot of you have seen Transformers. That one scene with the guy who I forget his name, but um, he's in the office and there's a red floor, yellow floor, and the girl has the red cup on the yellow floor, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter, but the guy says that you don't want this job, you want the job after this job. You don't want to be in a place of a life sucking abyss, right? um and that's kind of how I'm feeling lately. I'm feeling that life is taking away more from me now than it has in the past and at a faster pace. And it's because I'm not doing more of what I love. And what I love is learning people, being part of people. What makes them tick? Why are they who they are? Why do they do what they do? Why do they see things the way they see? You know, what is their perspective on life? How do you view me? This is how I view you. So on and so on and so on. That is so impactful to me. And the fact that I'm not doing more of that. And this I'm hoping will allow me that ability to do something I love for whatever I got left, whatever time you have here on this planet, whatever time that I have here on this planet. I'm hoping that I can put more effort into that and give as much value to someone, and someone give me as much value as they can in the process. One thing I do want to touch on, because I have friends and people that I speak to on the regular basis, and this might be a shit show to them. This might be a kids thing. This might be a joke. You know, and it could be. They'd be valid if that's a joke for them. Then it could be valid, but it's not a joke for me. But my advice, or what I would like to say, is if there's anyone that felt that they wanted to do something like this, or they wanted to do something similar, or whatever it is that they wanted to do, and wear their feelings on their sleeve, and just kind of put it out there and just kind of let it ride, man. Roll the dice and let it ride. Do it. I have 4 children. My life is convoluted. My brain is flooded. I can't remember shit. I got a recorder. Hey, I gotta record everything. I gotta write shit down so I don't forget topics. But I care about it enough to do that, to find my space when I have it, to do it. I want to be part of something larger. I want to put myself out there and be part of something bigger. I want to be something bigger than what it is that I'm doing now. And whether or not this becomes bigger than what it is, it doesn't matter. It's big enough for me because I'm doing it and it makes me happy. And if it's meaningful to you, go and get it. Go and get it. You'll have more support than you can possibly imagine. And like I said, you're going to have those people that are going to tell you, oh, it's a joke, it's kids' things, it's not serious. That might be true. But if it's serious enough for you, then it's serious. It's something that you need to do, something that you want to do, something that to get out of your system. And when you get it out, when you just do it and you get it out, there's no greater feeling than that. Now, again, this is something that's very loose. I don't really have a topic, but it was just something that I was feeling and something that I was dealing with lately. Something that I was kind of holding on to, because again, I hate to play the age thing. I don't feel old, um, or older. I'm not old, but I'm getting older, and some things don't come to me as quickly as they used to. I forget a lot of shit, you know. Um, but the one thing that you never forget is how you feel, right? How you feel about something, how meaningful something is to you. And you never forget how that feels, because as a kid, you know how something new feels, right? You know how good, how great that feels. You never forget that. That doesn't go away. It never goes away. Even as an adult, it feels the same way as it did when you were 10. That's what this feels like to me. That's how big and how important this is to me. Anyway, I digress, or rather not. I loosely had a conversation with you guys. Whoever is watching this, it doesn't really matter, because again, if I can touch one person with this, I did my job. Do what you do it the best way you know how, and do it well. I am Jay Cotto. I am out.